Hey everyone, welcome back to Positively Fishing. Today I'm back out on the Mississippi River. I'm going to try out a new bait that I haven't used before and see if I can put some nice walleyes and saugers in the boat. Let's see if I can do it. Stay tuned. There's one. There's one on a Reel Good Minnow. Oh yeah. Nice sauger. Nice sauger. Pinned it to the bottom. Got this one right here on the Reel Good Minnow. It's kind of a newer option, jigging wrap style, shiver minnow style bait. I'll show that to you in just a second. I'm gonna get this real nice sauger back in the water. This bait's made by a company called Dr. Reel Good right here in Wisconsin. Comes in a lot of colors. The color that I have here is a purple with kind of a gold sparkle on it. Like I said, it's got kind of a shiver minnow style. And it is available at Everts Resort, I believe. And there's a couple other bait shops in the area that are getting them in stock. So I'll let you know down in the description below. But these Reel Good Minnows, he does a fantastic job on these paint jobs. He's got a lot of different colors. This just happens to be a kind of a purple gold sparkle. He's got a whole bunch of different colors. The paint job is fantastic. So if you're interested in this style of bait, make sure to pick some of those up. All right, I'm gonna get back after it. Stay tuned. There's another one. This one doesn't feel quite as big. Another little sauger. This is just a little one, but another little sauger on that Reel Good Minnow. I believe this is the 3/4 ounce size. He's got a few different sizes. I know the sizes that are in stock in this area are mostly the 3/4 and 1 ounce sizes. Reel Good Minnow, check them out. See if we can get a couple more. Stay tuned. Fishing these Reel Good Minnows is just like a jigging wrap or a shiver minnow. Let it drop down to the bottom and then give it a nice little pull up. Drop it down, give it a nice little pull. The other way is you can really kind of rip it. You can give it kind of a snap off the bottom. This time of year, I like more of a pull. When we get later into the year, when the water warms up a little bit, I like more of a snap, even on a slack line, really snapping it. But right now, it seems to be working good. It's just kind of a pull. And then they go up, they dart around, they fall back to the bottom. And usually when they fall back to the bottom, that's when the saugers and walleyes jump on them, pin them to the bottom, and when you pull up again, they're there. Real simple to fish. And I tell you what, they work, they catch fish. There's one on the jigging minnow. Just a little guy. Decided to switch things up a little bit, throw a jigging minnow. Just picked up that little guy. Might try that for a little bit longer and then move on to something else. Stay tuned. There's one. Oh yeah. There we go. That one took me by surprise a little bit. Real nice walleye. Got that guy on the jigging minnow. Just getting set up and letting the boat position, and there I was just hanging it over the side. And this guy walloped it. Get him back. This might be a good spot. See if we can get some more. Stay tuned. All right, on the dead stick. Put out a dead stick because I caught a couple on a minnow. And there we go, just got one real nice sauger on the dead stick. See if we can get some more on that. Stay tuned. I don't even know why I'm casting anymore. It's another real nice sauger on the dead stick. Second fish on the dead stick, third fish on the minnow over here. I've been pitching a blade around and haven't got anything on it yet. I'm gonna keep trying though. Never know. Stay tuned. So for my dead stick, I'm just using a 3-way. So I've got a 3-way swivel right here down to just a bell sinker. I don't even know what weight that is. Maybe ½ ounce, something like that. And then just a trailer line with a hook and a minnow. And all I'm doing with that is just dropping it over the side of the boat, down to the bottom, closing the bail. Then I'm just watching the rod tip for a bite. It's worked. See if we can keep it going. Stay tuned. On the plastic. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. I just switched over to a plastic, and this, when I set the hook, I did not think it was going to be a crappie. This is a serious crappie right here. But not keeping fish today, so I'm going to throw them back. See if we can get some more. Stay tuned. There's one. There's one. I switched over to a ringworm. Just switched over to a ringworm. And this guy walloped it. Gonna get him back. The guy next to me is just pounding him, so I'm just trying to keep up with him. Yeah, he's hooked up again, so gonna have to get my line back in the water. Stay tuned. Okay, here's your positively fishing quick tip of the day. When I started out fishing today, I started fishing vertical because that's what was working for me the day before. And the bait that I started off with was this Reel Good Minnow right here. It's a jig and wrap shiver minnow style bait. And this particular one is made locally here in Wisconsin, and it's called the Reel Good Minnow. It's by a company called Dr. Reel Good. It's a great bait. It has great action. The paint jobs are really good. The hooks are strong, and these fins don't come off. So it's a really nice versatile bait. This is the 3/4 ounce size. There's also a 1 ounce size, and I think he's got some lighter ones too available. If you're looking to get your hands on some of those, I know Everts Resort on Pool 4 of the Mississippi has them in stock right now. I fished with that for a little while, and then I pushed up a little bit shallower, and I started just using a plain old jig with a minnow on it. Just a plain old jig with a minnow. And I caught a couple fish that way, but it still wasn't really turning on like I wanted. So I made a little move across the river and started throwing a blade. And these are the two blades that I was throwing the most. They're made by J&M Jigs. This one right here is kind of a sparkly green color. This one here is kind of a glitter gold color. Both of these are in the 3/8 ounce size. I was also using a 1/4 ounce blade a little bit, but these worked pretty well, but I still wasn't getting into the bite that I wanted. So I decided, since I had a little bit of success using a jig and minnow, I decided to throw a dead stick down, and I showed you that a little bit earlier in the video. Just a 3-way swivel with a bell sinker on the bottom, and then the trailer line, just a hook and a minnow. And I started catching fish on that immediately. Since the plain hook and minnow seemed to be working pretty well for me, I decided to make a little bit of a switch to something a little more subtle than the blades and the jigging wraps and the Reel Good Minnows. I decided to switch to a jigging plastic. And this right here is just a 1/4 ounce jig and a paddle tail. I went through a few different colors of paddle tails, but 1/4 ounce jig and a paddle tail, and a 1/4 ounce jig and just a ringworm. And these are the two baits that really helped me figure out what was going on with this bite. One of my first casts with the plastics, I was bringing it in and I almost had it to the boat, and I was just holding it over the side of the boat, looking at my dead stick rod, and all of a sudden one hammered it. So then I fished with it a little bit more. What I noticed throughout the evening was that it wasn't necessarily like a pop or a lift and drop bite. Normally when I'm fishing these plastics, I'm kind of lifting and then letting it drop, lifting and then letting it drop. What I started to notice was when I was reeling in the line just very slowly, that's when the fish were biting it. So what I started to do is just cast it out, a long cast, let it sink all the way to the bottom, do a lift, and then reel up the slack, and then just keep reeling a little bit until I hit the bottom again, real slow, and then lift, and then keep reeling. So instead of it going up and down, like you normally would with a jig, kind of up, and then have it glide a little bit longer. And that's what the fish really wanted this evening. So the whole point of this quick tip was, we started off with some more aggressive baits, like the Reel Good Minnow and the blade baits. We tried some live bait and that worked. And then finally what we realized was that real subtle jigging plastics were the ticket. So even though I was catching fish on all those different techniques that I was using, I took the time and cycled through enough baits until I found out that the best and most productive bait was going to be that jigging plastic. And then the technique I was using to retrieve it is a slow lift and then reeling it a little bit longer than normal. Not just reeling up the slack, but actually reeling in the bait so it's just gliding across the bottom, getting that tail of that plastic to move a little bit. Next time you're out on the river fishing and you're pitching plastics, give that technique a little bit of a try, and hopefully it'll put some nice fish in the boat for you. All right, let's get back to the river. Stay tuned. There's one. Another one on that ringworm right next to the boat. It's just about starting to reel in and that one hit it. Caught a few on the plastics, few on the minnow. I think I might switch to a blade for a little bit, see if that does any good. Stay tuned. There's one on the blade bait. Well, I just switched over to that gold 3/8 ounce blade and took a little while, but got this one to bite. This is my nicest fish all day. So get that one back, see if we can get some more. Stay tuned. Oh, it's a sauger? There's one. Hey, I got a sauger too. So still using that gold blade bait, just got this real nice sauger. We're at prime time now. I want to get my bait back in the water. There's one on the plastic. Kind of an average size, but we will take them all in that soft plastic. Just a nice little male walleye. Got that on a 1/4 ounce jig with This little tickle tail, paddle tail, it's working good, running out of light. Hopefully we can get a few more before it gets too dark. Stay tuned. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Give us a like and make sure to leave those comments down below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Beep-bop-a-doo. Wow. I don't know. Just bad at fishing, I guess. I think this is a stick. Stick indeed. There's one. There's one. I think. It's starting to act a lot like a stick. Yep. And off it goes. Good release.